Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled among rolling hills, lived a young man named Marco. He was kind, hardworking, and a good person by all accounts. But beneath his calm exterior, his mind was a relentless storm. From the moment he opened his eyes in the morning until he fell into a fitful sleep, his thoughts raced without pause. He was haunted by regrets from his past and plagued by anxieties about the future. The fear of failure, the worrying of not being enough, it was a constant, deafening noise in his head. This mental turmoil left him perpetually tired and restless, a spectator in his own life, unable to truly enjoy any of it. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, casting long shadows across the village, an old traveler stopped for a rest. He gathered a few villagers around him and shared a tale about a wise man who lived in a serene village deep within the hills. This wise man, he said, was a former psychologist who had renounced his old life to help people find true, lasting peace. As Marco listened, a tiny spark of hope ignited within him. Maybe, just maybe, this was the answer he had been looking for. The very next morning, before the sun had fully risen, Marco packed a small bag with some bread and water. With his heart full of a nervous hope, he set off on the journey to find this peaceful village. The path was long, and the sun beat down relentlessly, but Marco's determination didn't waver. He walked for days, his body growing weary, but his spirit was fueled by the possibility of finding relief from the storm in his mind. Finally, he arrived. The village was just as the traveler had described: calm, beautiful, and filled with an almost tangible sense of tranquility. At the edge of the village, he spotted a small, humble house, its walls covered in blooming flowers and creeping vines. On the porch sat an old man, his eyes closed, breathing in a slow, peaceful rhythm. This had to be him. Marco approached him cautiously. "Sir," he began, his voice trembling slightly, "my mind is always restless. It never stops. Can you help me find peace?" The old man opened his eyes, and they were filled with a gentle, knowing warmth. He smiled and, without a word, went inside his house. He returned a moment later with a glass of water, filled right to the very brim. He handed it to Marco. "Walk through the village," the wise man said softly. "Go to the very end and come back to me. But on your journey, you must not spill a single drop of this water. Be very careful." Marco, though puzzled, accepted the task. He took the glass, his hand steadying as he focused on the delicate surface of the water. He began his walk. The village was alive with activity. Children were laughing and chasing each other through the streets. Dogs barked playfully. Shopkeepers were calling out their daily specials. The aroma of freshly baked bread filled the air. But Marco saw none of it. He heard none of it. His entire world had shrunk to the size of the glass in his hand. His eyes were fixed on the water, his steps measured and deliberate. He navigated the bustling path, his focus absolute. He made his way through the entire village and back to the old man's porch, his heart swelling with pride. "I did it," he announced, a triumphant smile on his face. Not a single drop was spilled. The old man nodded, his own smile serene. "Tell me," he asked, "did you see the children playing? Did you hear the dogs barking? Did you notice the shops and the beautiful things they were selling?" Marco paused, his triumphant expression fading into one of confusion. "No," he admitted. I was focused only on the water." The old man's gentle smile widened. "And in those moments," he said, "was your mind racing? Were you worried about the future or regretting the past?" Marco thought for a moment. He hadn't been. All the noise, all the fear had vanished. "That," the wise man explained, "is the secret to peace. When your mind is fully engaged in the present moment, there is no space for fear or regret. There is only what is right in front of you. In that silence, you found your peace." Tears welled up in Marco's eyes as the profound simplicity of the lesson washed over him. Peace wasn't some distant treasure he had to find. It wasn't something outside of him. It had been within him all along, buried under the noise of his own thoughts. He thanked the wise man from the bottom of his heart. As he walked back to his own village, his steps were lighter, his heart was calmer, and for the first time in a long time, a genuine smile graced his face. Sometimes, our minds aren't tired, they're just overfilled. Peace doesn't come from changing our circumstances or the world around us. It comes from returning to the present moment. If this story brought you a little bit of peace, please consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it today. And don't forget to subscribe for more calming stories. Thank you for listening.